welcome to Miss Ireland's Chats. This week we have a fantastic former Miss Ireland here for us, and she's coming all the way from Florida, USA, and it is Siobhan Mc Clafferty. Hello, Siobhan, are you there?
Hello, Brendan. It's so amazing to talk to you. I miss the Irish accent so much. It's not even funny.
And you still actually have your accent. Think that you're up there so long. You still
I
kept it.
think I do. When I talk to people at home, like my family, I get it back stronger. But they think I'm totally Americanized now, and the different words that you say, like the awesome and the amazing, and I'm like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. I want to keep my accent.
So come here. We're going to talk all things Miss World and Miss Ireland today, and also your career all the way through. So we're going to start off with, okay, so when you entered into Miss Ireland, how did it come about, and what were you doing at the time, and like where was your final, and what went on? Tell us.
Okay, a bizarre story. Right, so I was working in the airport, in Dublin Airport, for a company called Landvan. I was working there on the weekends, so it was an early start, like 5, 6 in the morning to like 1 in the afternoon. Loved what I did. Loved meeting all the people going in and out. And on one of the days that I was working, the organizer of the Miss Ireland at the time, Krishna and his wife, Leah, were heading over to the Miss World with the current Miss Ireland, Barbara Kern. So I was just there and I saw her and she's absolutely stunning, and I just went, oh my God, that's Barbara. She knew me because she knew my older sisters, Karen and Jackie. So they worked together in the same airline. So we spoke for a little bit, off they went. Krish then said to her, do you think that girl would enter the Miss Ireland? And I didn't hear anything else from it at that time. That was it. Oh, yeah. And a week before the actual Dublin final, I got a phone call to say, this is the Miss Ireland organisation. We want to know, are you interested in entering the Miss Ireland? And I went, the first thing that came into my head, Brendan, was I remember going to the heat with my sister to support her.
Right.
Me, and it was in Rumours nightclub. And so they're walking out in a swimsuit. You have a few guys with their cigarettes and their beer and having a laugh and everything. And I remember
when they could smoke indoors.
right. And so I remember she walked out and she was number 10, and I will never forget. I just went, I don't know how she's doing that. Fair play to her, good for her. That's just amazing.
Your sister was in the competition the year previous, was it?
It was, no, 4 years previous.
4 years previous, okay.
Yes. So all of her information, they had that on file. Right. Where we lived in Portmarnock and that family home still there, and so that's why they rang me. But yeah, so I just said, there's no way I'm going to walk out in a nightclub in front of all these people in a swimsuit. And I just thought, it's just not going to happen. And I only had a week's notice. So I remember getting off the phone, I sat down, I had a chat with my mum and dad, and, you know, they just gave me great advice, to be honest, Brendan. They said, look, you know, it might not be something that you want, it might not be something that you're interested in, but it's an opportunity, and opportunities don't come around in life very often. So, you know, why don't you just go for it, see how you get on, and if you don't like it, well, then you can just opt out, right? And I thought, well, that was fair, okay?
Yeah.
So that overcame the whole swimsuit thing and the light go. So I entered that. I got through then to the North Dublin finals, and then there was a couple of days where we had to go in for the judging, and that was in Rumours nightclub, or it was Rumours nightclub.
On O'Connell Street, yes.
Was it the Gresham or Rumours is one of them. Anyway, so we were there. I had just gotten a job with Ryanair as an air hostess, so I had to take a day off the training, which was fine. We went in at like 12 noon. We were there all day long with the interviews, the evening gown thing and all that. And, you know, I just kind of said, this is an experience that I might regret if I don't do it, so I'm glad that I did it. So I had no inkling that I was ever going to win. That just wasn't on the cards.
So that was just basically the North Dublin final then that you've done.
That was the North Dublin final, but then I got through to that, and then the kind of Miss Ireland thing as well. So about 10 girls from North Dublin or from that area that got through.
Yeah.
They all got through. And then on the actual night of the Miss Ireland, my mum and dad never went, because when they went with my sister, when she was there 4 years ago,
Yeah.
It was it was so hyped up, and it was so kind of, there was a lot of pressure. And I think my mom was kind of like, it's not really fair sitting there watching it going on, and just an awful lot of pressure going on. So
and where was your final that year?
The Burlington Hotel.
It was in the Gresham. Okay, very good.
The Burlington.
Oh, the Burlow. Yeah.
Burlington, yeah. So, and that's the actual Miss Ireland night was on there. So, they weren't there. My sister was there, my two sisters, and my ex-boyfriend was there, and he was filming the whole thing on one of the little recorder camera things.
Amazing.
When they said the name, but the only part I wanted them to get was me walking out. Nothing was going to win though, and the camera just fell to the floor, and all I could see was the Burlington floor for the next hour because he got such a shock. But there was a couple of girls in the competition that night, and I remember saying, do you know what? I wonder how they're going to feel when they call their name. One particular girl was like a model in Ireland. She was doing very well. And I remember backstage going, when Marty Whelan calls her name, I wonder how she's going to react or how she's going to respond. So I kept looking at her. And I was like, and then it went, and in third place we have, and then second place we have. And in first place, it was Marty Whelan, and Olivia Tracy was there. She was doing a compare as well. And he said, all the way from Portmarnock, because he's from Portmarnock, and all of a sudden, all of the security guards just wrapped around me, and I'm like, what is going on here? What is that? Because I actually didn't expect it at all. It was like I hadn't prepared for that. I actually thought I was lucky. I felt grateful to get into the top 10. So that was that. I remember walking out on stage then, and the song "Isn't She Lovely?"
That's actually was in my head. I was thinking that was going to be the song.
And I'm like, so I was walking down, and as I was walking down, I had the flowers, I had the sash, I had everything up, and all I was saying was, "Where's my mom and dad? Where's my mom and dad? Where's?" Because I just wanted them to be there because it was such a special time. And so, but anyway. You know the way you make the phone calls after and you sit in the bed with that breakfast and the bacon?
Your breakfast tray shot, yes.
Well, I'm upstairs in the Burlington Hotel waiting to get into the bed with the breakfast like it's the next morning. And I just said, look, I have to make a phone call first. And they're like, oh yeah, fine. So I'm in the corner and I'm on the phone. And I said, Mom, hi. And I said, Mom, I won. And she goes, oh, you're done. Ah, great. Was it a good night? So, Mom, and all the cameras are kicking behind me, and I'm up in the room, and the breakfast is there, and I'm like, no, Mom, and she's going, Joe, she's done. Do you want to go in and get her to collect me, to go in and pick me up? And I'm like, Mom, no, Mom, I won. I'm not done. I won. Oh Jesus, Joe, she's won. Oh, geez. Well, within half an hour, the whole McClafferty clan, aunties, uncles, cousins. Is sending me on the Burlington Hotel. My nanny, my mum's mum was there. So I was like, she was walking around saying, I'm Nanny Ireland, and it was just so funny. It was all
funny.
My sister just, was marrying Connor that year, and Charlie's son. And so it was just an amazing experience. I'll never forget. It was just fantastic, the whole thing.
And tell me this, so they all rock in for the after party, obviously, of the crowning of Miss Ireland, and they're all there and everything else. And so then after that, then what happened next then for you?
Okay, so what happened then was we just went straight back home. The next day, we had the press on the phone. They wanted to take pictures on the beach. We had the neighbours. Everybody in the world, in Ireland, knew about me winning the Miss Ireland. Like, everybody knew. And so we had people knocking on the door. And my mother turned around to the first person that was at the door and said, you know what? Siobhan might have won Miss Ireland, but she still has to do her housework. So here I am, running around with the Hoover in the house, making sure I'm grounded, that it wasn't going to go to my head,
That's it. And tell me, how long, like, so when you won Miss Ireland then, what time of year frame was that actual final?
Oh gosh, I think it was June time, because the Miss World then was in November.
November, still same, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So then after going, did you sign up with a model agency in Ireland, or what happened then after that?
Yeah, there was the Murray's agency. I was with
Yeah.
them for a while, and but do you know what, Brendan? Modeling was not wasn't something that I always had in my head that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I was very fortunate because it just happened, and I'm very grateful for all of that. But it wasn't like I want to be a model. But I do remember with my sisters watching the Miss World every single year. Like there's four girls in my family, one boy, and he never got a look in. And so we'd all sit
Well, it
there.
was like Eurovision back in the day. What Eurovision and Miss World?
Right? Yeah, it's like everybody, you could not watch either the Miss World or Universe or both. So I remember we used to sit there and we used to write down who we thought would get into the top 10 and who would get into first, second, and third. And one of the sisters got close and was like, oh my God, wow, you knew. So it was always a huge, it was a very entertaining, exciting time watching that.
Yeah, family events type of thing.
Yeah, and then to be actually involved in the whole thing was just, yeah, it was great. It was great.
And so then you had your few months of prepping then to go to Miss World then in London. So tell us then, so you're at Miss World in London, you're there, tell us the story, what happened there.
Okay, right, well, the stories, thank you for so many memories, I love this. These are just coming to my head now. Okay, so we went to London, we're staying in a beautiful hotel in Park Lane. And all of the girls were kind of arriving, settling in over the space of like 2-3 days, like Ireland and Australia, New Zealand, and and here's me coming from Ireland. I'm like, half an hour trip. But anyway, I will never forget, Miss Iceland was in my room. I was sharing a room with her and hadn't met her. And of course,
because it's obviously the room allocation's done alphabetically.
Yes.
Because every girl now that goes, 9 times out of 10, they will be staying with Iceland. So we have like a really close friendship, all our contestants with the Icelandic girls.
That's right. And you know what, Brendan, I have to say, I was one of the first to arrive because I'm only coming from Ireland. And that's fine. And none of my family were there or anything at this point. And so I remember unpacking my clothes, and a lot of the girls that were arriving were kind of having to sleep because they were tired. But I went down to the gym that day that I got there, did a little workout in the gym, came back up again, and I walked in and I just saw this big suitcase, and I just looked, there's somebody in the bed, and I walked by the bed, and all I could see was this absolute doll looking. I've never seen anything so beautiful in my life. She was so stunning. I was like, oh my God. She was just like a porcelain doll. I was like, wow. And so she slept for a few hours. I was homesick already. I'm like such a baby. I'm like, wow.
You're only half an hour away.
I know, right? And then Miss USA was in the room next door to us. So I walk out again because I wanted her to sleep. And all of a sudden, I see 2 trunks. Suitcase, not two trunks.
Yeah.
Because she had 3 different outfits for every day that she was there, right? And my little call was going. I had to run around, I had to go, and I was up to 90 trying to get sponsorship, and because I wasn't prepared for it before, So
well, see, what I find a lot as well is when, and a lot of the girls have said this, when they get to say the likes of the Miss World final, and then all these girls come in with all these suitcases of clothes around clothes, but you don't get to wear them. And that's what I always say to girls, you don't get to wear all the outfits, and then sometimes that does knock their confidence a bit. Because you
absolutely does. No, you're dead right.
Feel like, I don't have enough, I don't have 10 suitcases. But technically 3 suitcases would do you, because you're not going to wear half of that wardrobe, even a third of that wardrobe that will be with them. So I always say to girls, don't be sort of entrolled into this whole thing. I haven't got 10 suitcases, I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
It's about, if you have a good wardrobe, that lasts all the way through,
Yeah, no, you're dead right.
You don't want to be spending your time there just getting changed every 3 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's important for the girls, in the future to realize that, to kind of give them a bit of peace of mind, because, some of the countries are very, Venezuela, that you're trained to walk, talk, look, specifically for the Miss World, Like they really did put an awful lot of work.
They do a lot of training. Well, see, they start a lot of that training work quite early in life as well. That they can go to these workshop classes every week to train to be, because in a lot of these South American countries and everything else, it is a big deal if you are Miss Venezuela or Miss Brazil or whatever. You're almost like a queen in their country.
Yeah, and actually, the year I was in it and I came second, she came third, Miss Venezuela, and I swear to God, I thought she was going to win. She was so beautiful. She was so poised. She was a dancer. The thing was, she never spoke a word of English, so I didn't think she could speak English until after the top 10, we're all backstage, and it was like, she said something like, "When am I on?" I'm like, "Oh my God, you speak English?"
You're like, "Oh shit, sugar, she can speak English." She's like,
I don't know whether they're told not to communicate with her. I don't know, but she actually could speak fluent English, but she didn't. I think maybe she was very pressured to just focus on job in hand and not to get too close. I don't know.
Well, she probably has she has her own language. Like she has, like that's what she goes. That's what I'm going to speak until I have to speak English.
Yeah.
Obviously, her second language. So tell us then. So when you were there, did they have the sort of the talent sections and the sports sections and that? That was still there when you were there, yeah?
That was still there. I did my Irish dance. So
oh, you did? For dance in the world.
And the funniest thing was, I'm in London. I don't have a swimsuit, right, for the final. It's the middle of November. It's absolutely freezing out. And I was walking around London City trying to find a swimsuit. And I swear I couldn't find, there was nothing I could find. I actually had to get one in the kids section, because that's all they had, because they didn't stock them. So I was there with a little stripy, it was actually in Hello Magazine as it was, that swimsuit that I wore, and I will never forget walking around trying to find a swimsuit. You don't realize how difficult it is until you can't get one. But I got it.
In November. And tell us then, so when you were there, you had a trip to Norway as well. What was that all about?
Oh my God. Okay, so Norway, I've never been. I've traveled all over the world. I've lived in a lot of places, and I have to say, as you know, it's absolutely magnificent. You know, just the log cabins, the snow, the unspoiled snow sitting on top of the houses, and it just absolutely magical.
The little lamps in the windows. I love.
Yes, yeah. And all of that. So I remember one day myself, there was actually 5 of us. We all had to wear different swimsuits, and they get them also those swimsuits. So it was on the front of the Norway paper. These are the girls that are going to participate, and we had to stand on these big rocks in the water with our high heels on, and it was about minus.
In November in Norway, beautiful.
In a swimsuit. So every time they do a shot, they say, "Okay, you have these other people coming up putting coats around us because we're like this." My teeth are chattering. I was like, but then you have to smile like everything was fine. It was great because it was sunny, but it was freezing. That was
Ice Queens, they should have called.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But it was a nice little change to go from London over there. I was grateful that I had an opportunity to go there, and
also probably good as well to bond with the other girls as well, that you're not in rehearsal mode and all that sort of stuff, that you're getting to do stuff with the contestants to get to know them.
Yeah, it is nice. It's just kind of different. You get to find out a bit about them, and then, I got pally with a couple of the girls, and we kind of stuck together. Miss India was lovely, and then we were in line together for things, and it's kind of nerve-wracking for all of the girls. So you're all in the same boat, so you kind of resonate with each other, so you kind of have this this bond where it's like, you're going through the same as me. We're all going through the same here. It's nerve-wracking. It's a great opportunity, but it is. I mean, like, I was 19. It's a baby. But
I remember, like, when you were there, I remember, like, literally, like, there was only one point between you and the winner. Like, how did that feel?
Okay.
How do you feel the working? There's only one point in it.
Okay, well, so Reuters were doing all the calculations, right? So they had to get all of the results in from the Norwegian panel as well. And so they were kind of all connected. And so Julie and Morty, when it actually happened, everything happened so fast, and you're rehearsing everything for the final night, and then all of a sudden the night goes so fast you don't even realize it.
Mm.
My dress was my dress was lost. I couldn't find my dress.
Oh no!
I swear to God, it's like the worst nightmare. Like, talk about nerve-wracking. My dress was somewhere, and then it wasn't in my room when I went to get it. So I'm flying around like I need another dress. So it was a bit. But anyway, so sorry, what was the question there?
I was asking like what? So the one point in it and stuff on the night, yeah.
Okay, so what happened then was we all got interviewed, and I walked backstage, and they said USA came first, I came second, and Venezuela came third. But USA got 81, I got 80, and then Venezuela got like 72.
So it was so tight between you and America.
So it was so close. But then I thought, you know what? To get that close and to not actually win, like it obviously was meant to be, because I couldn't get close to win. Do you know what I mean? And so, so I kind of thought, and my family were there that night, so that was good.
Where was your fight? Where your final when it was in London? What was the location it was in London?
It was in the Palladium in London.
In the Palladium, fabulous.
Yeah. So I remember walking out and in the evening gown. And I had a few friends that were air hostesses, and they were based in London, and they're like, "Miss Ireland, you're gonna win!" When everything was real quiet, like, and that meant the world to me, because you're not really talking to people, you're just with all the other girls and that. So that meant the world to me. That was great. I loved that. And then Julia Morley said to me afterwards, the organizer of the Miss World, she said, "Siobhan, I really thought you were going to win. I thought you'd won. You had it won." And I went, well, that was nice. And it was. And
for Julie to say that, I was really first say that to you, Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge compliment. And so, yeah.
And so tell me, so then you're back now in Dublin after all the fabulousness of Miss World. What happened next?
Okay, so after the Miss World, I was working with Ryanair at the time. So instead of being an air hostess, I was going off doing these openings, and then you got the sponsorship of the car and stuff like that. So I had to do all these engagements all over Ireland. So I was kind of sitting in and out of all the engagements that I had.
Yeah.
And that was good. But the people that sponsored it, I got a car that year as well, which was great. Yeah. And I was told that if I didn't pass my test, I wouldn't get the car. So no pressure, Siobhan, to get your license, right?
That's a bit obvious. You get a brand new car, even though you can't drive, you just smash the wall there.
Right? Yeah.
So you ended up then over in the States, and then by chance you bumped into this guy that sort of sent your career in a different direction. So tell us about this when you met this guy.
Okay, so I met this guy. His name was Jay Bernstein, and he is like a star maker. He made Linda Evans from Dynasty, Farrah Fawcett Majors, Suzanne Summers, Jerry Bruckheimer. He made all of these people, and so that was his job, to make people famous.
Famous, yeah, finds and makes them. Yeah.
So he said to me, if you stay here for 2 years, I will make you the biggest star this town has ever seen. And I'm looking at him going, really? Whatever it was, I don't know, coming from Ireland and the realness and the authenticity of the people and the down to earth, it just, the people like that there weren't like that. And so I thought, oh God, he's just saying this. But then when I was over there, I thought what I'll do is I'll stay, I'll go straight from where I was with my mom to where he lived, and he picked us up, and I wouldn't go without my mother. He picked us up in a limousine at the airport, that was fine. Got to the house, Beverly Hills, magnificent house. Went in, and of course he's going around saying, well, Carl Lombard and Clark Gable used to live in this house, and that's why I bought it. And I hadn't a clue who they were.
Like, who's Clark Gable?
What they did, what they looked like, and my mum's going, Clark Gable, and I said, Mom, who's that? And she's like, you don't know who he is, go with the wind. And she said to me, who is the most famous person in the world, like actor now? And I'm like, what, Tom Cruise? Just multiply that by a million. That's Clark Gable. Here's me. Oh, okay. So it was actually in their house that we stayed.
Yeah.
And he had me organized to meet all these people. Bill Collins wanted to use me for a video that he was doing, and you know, we went out to restaurants and Spagos. Sylvester Stallone was sitting there. You know, Mickey Dolenz from the Beatles was. You know, it was just so bizarre and just so amazing, and so here we are.
So you ended up then living in Los Angeles for 2 years.
I came back then.
Went back and then went back and forward then, yeah.
Came back, and I was home for a couple of years, and I said, you know what? If I don't take this opportunity, I know I'm going to regret it. And like, for me, I have a fear of regretting things and, you know, not wanting to. You know. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll go back over, but on the condition was that I go with my sister. I have a family member everywhere I go. So, but it is a crazy place, and you know, you need to have the security of, you know, somebody there.
Exactly, just someone around you with a bit of stability with you.
Yeah, a bit of stability, a bit of normality in that. So we went there, myself and my sister. She had lived there for a year in Oxnard, close to where we were in Beverly Hills, and so that worked out really, really well. I did an acting scholarship for a year. It was on La Brea, Sunset Boulevard, absolutely amazing. You know, just so different, and you know, kind of getting into the whole acting thing. Really enjoyed my time there, but I really missed home, Brendan. I really did. It was like, it's hard to explain. I remember talking to my dad saying, "Oh, Dad, like, I just want to come home," and he said, "Just give it another few more weeks, you know." And I get what he was saying now, you know, but at the time it's like, I just want to be home because, you know, I know
where you're coming from, because years ago I was in a project, a really, really good project and that, and we were meant to be going on tour and stuff with the Backstreet Boys and everything else like that. We were going to be the next big thing. Yeah. But I packed it in and said, I want to go home. And no matter what anybody said to me, it's like, I just want to be at home. Do you know what I mean?
And I totally get that.
So this is you saying that I can relate to that type of thing. Some people just like to be back home in Ireland. Maybe I did miss an opportunity that could be the best thing ever, but I was happy at home.
So I'm back home and I'm thinking, oh God, you know what? I just need to give it a shot, and you know, and I'm glad I did. But it's just different. They're just different from us. So.
Yeah, it is, because obviously everybody that would be, well, the majority of people that would be in the LA, Hollywood area, a lot of them everybody wants to be famous or wants to be in movies, wants to be in singing, wants to be in the industry.
That's right.
And you literally have to be plugged in 24/7. And sometimes it's a plus, but then for some people they just don't want to be around that all the time. They just like the easy-going life of Ireland. You know?
I think coming from Ireland, though, I mean, that's why everybody loves the Irish, Brendan, because we're very normal, we're down to earth, and we're real, and we're authentic, and you know, like even talking about that, I remember sitting at a table with Sammy Davis Jr.'s one of his ex-wives, and Jade Bernstein was there, this star maker, and we had to go to and so she went up to him and she said, "Oh my God, say hi, great to see you, I love you, and everybody loved each other, and the air kissing and all of that." And all of a sudden she walks away and he goes, "I hate that woman." And I was like, what just happened there?
Yeah.
Does that really happen? I mean, if you don't like somebody, you like them, but you don't pretend you love them. And so all of that was going on. And then another funny story, I was sitting beside somebody and she said to me, "You seem very grounded. Who is your therapist?" And I said, "Well, actually, I have somebody at home that I go to in Ireland, but I just do my eyebrows and my facials myself. And, you know, And she's looking at me going, "You're what?" And I'm like, I don't really have a specific person. She said, "I'm talking about your psychiatric therapist, like your counselor therapist." And I'm like, "Oh, you know, I don't have one of them. No, not yet." And I just thought, but that's the way it was. Everybody, it was a normal conversation for people to have therapists over there because everybody's affected by trying to get into the industry, and it's tough.
Industry.
Yeah.
So tell us then. So you end up back in Ireland now, and so you set up then Cover Shop. So what was Cover Shop?
Okay, well, for me, the press were great. They really helped an awful lot. For me, I had a passion for making people, especially women, feel good about themselves. All right. So I sensed that a lot of Irish women were excellent mothers, but in doing so, they gave so much of themselves to their kids. And that was kind of like the moms at work and the mothers there doing with the kids. And you know what? Being a mom is tough, Brendan. I've only one child. My mom had 5. I don't know how she did it. But like, when I think about it, it just takes so much out of you. And I thought, what can I do to help women feel good about themselves, to be an even better mother, wife, you know, sister, you know, what can I do? And I looked into a few things and I thought, oh my God, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make people feel good through makeup and hair, and no airbrushing or anything like that. And everyone has something that they can emphasize as good, you know, high cheekbones or large eyes or whatever. So we just highlighted their good qualities. And so when people come in, did their hair and makeup, had a chat, they trusted you because you were kind of working with them, and you know, you get the whole life story, which was great. I loved that. And sometimes the husband would come in with the kid, and then, you know, they didn't want to be in the photograph, but we kind of just get them in a photograph, and then they'd love it afterwards. But, you know, they go off for an hour and they come back, and most people would actually cry when they saw their photographs on screen, you know.
It's a lovely experience to go get yourself all made up and then get pictures taken and stuff like that. So you were offered, and then obviously it was for the public, so you didn't have to be a model or blah blah to have this.
No,
this
actually, you know what?
Which is fantastic.
Yeah. It was actually the opposite. It was more for the normal Irish mom person, you know, sister.
To have a day of fabulousness.
To come in, to feel special about themselves. Women spend thousands every year to make themselves and look good and feel good, and you have all the media in your face everywhere you look about, use this and you're going to be amazing, use that. So with Cover Shops, what we did was, you know, we made them feel that that really an amazing experience that when they had it.
Yeah.
And then they left with a photograph that they could keep forever. And I have friends that send me photographs every now and then going, oh my God, Siobhan, this is a Cover Shops photograph. And I'm like, and I recognize them all because, you know, you just have the trademark.
Yeah, look, yeah.
But I felt so grateful that I was able to, you know, contribute or help, you know, women feel more confident in themselves to be that wife and mom.
Yeah. And then while you were doing all the Cover Shop stuff, you're also doing house property flips.
Yeah, jack of all trades here. Okay, so I always had an interest in you know, property and real estate, and my mother, funny enough, she made sure all of us bought a house before our 20th birthday.
Wow.
I know, right? I mean, fair play to her. I mean, I thought on it. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. This is what I want to do. And so I didn't when I was 20. I did it when I was 21. But then I ended up buying 5 houses. So, you know, so I started late and went in and did it. And yeah, I had an eye for, you know, kind of decor and doing places up. And I could see when you walked into a house how I could make that look really, really good. You know, if I wanted to sell it on, or if I wanted to rent it or whatever, depending where it was. And so, yeah, that was another passion of mine. The whole transformation things is big with me. I like the difference and I like the transformation thing. So, yeah.
So that was that would have taken a good, say, 10 years from Miss World to the next chapter. So then the next chapter then comes in and around the year 2000, and then that's when you have your fabulous daughter. So tell us all about that.
Oh my God, where do I start? Where do I end? You know what, Brendan? I have to say, she's so precious. You know, she's totally unlike me, personality-wise. I'm like 90 miles an hour, everything 90 miles an hour. She's real slow and relaxed and, you know, kind of takes everything really easy. I'm like, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it. I'm doing it now. I'm doing it quickly. She's really relaxed. Yeah. So the first day after she was due on the Wednesday, I had her on the Saturday, and I was in work on the Sunday, and I brought her of the following week. So she's only a week old. I brought her in with me. I had her in a little carry cot. I remember looking at her in the office in cover shops on Grafton Street going, I can't answer this phone. I can't talk to these people. So from what I thought I was able to do, it was totally different. My whole world was consumed by this little person. And I know a lot of mothers just, it's the same. I was thinking, so I was working right up until, the week she was born, and, never had a problem. It was fine, and just kind of do my thing. But then, you have this person, this little person that depends on you for everything. And so I thought, I need to have the time with her. I need to spend time with her. And so that was a big deciding factor as well of, what I was going to do. And, I went over to Australia for a couple of years. Her dad's Australian, we stayed there. And so it was great to have that time with her. And very young, she actually started the horse riding, and I had a race horse, so I used to horse ride as well when I was younger. Yeah. And all my sisters have got boys. None of them are interested in horse riding, but Lauren is really passionate about it. We actually brought her horse over from Texas here to Florida.
Wow.
So me and her, because of the whole COVID thing, me and her are actually up on the horse. She's like, Mom, get up on the horse. Come on, do this. And I'm like, okay. So we have that quality time up there, and it's just great, just that two of our passions, and we're up there together, kind of riding around, and it's just amazing.
And so tell me this then, so then recently then, she was trying on a dress belonged to you. So tell us this story, and then what actually came about and happened next.
Okay, and I know you get this right. So I got, you just have these dresses, and then you have these favorites, and so, all of that. And in America, right, from Illinois to Texas, the proms are really big. It's like the Debs, but they have it like every, so they're always on. And so she's been asked a few times, and, she had 3 or 4 different outfits for each, for them. And somebody asked her to go somewhere about 5 months ago, and she's like, Mom, I haven't got a dress. And I said, would you want to try out? Why don't you just try on one of mine? And I just knew she was going to go, what? One of yours? Like one of the prehistoric ones? Like, you know what I mean? And I said, oh, just have a look. So she tried on this particular dress, and she went, oh my God, Mom, I love it. I was more shocked than she was, but she just didn't have any time to go out and get it. And I remember I actually started crying, because I thought, this is something that happened all those years ago. And here's my daughter, almost 20 now, wearing a dress that I wore. And it's hard to put into words.
Because the particular dress it was, I remember you sent me a picture of the dress that she wore was the dress that you wore when you judged Miss Ireland 2010.
That's right. That is
yes.
Right. Oh my God. And I said it to you, you're like, I remember the dress very distinctly. Yeah, I remember what it was, what you were doing. Yeah, but you know what? It actually fitted her better than it ever fitted me. She's stunning in it. Just beautiful.
So then the next thing in this little story gets me, then she goes, Mom, I would really love to enter into Miss Ireland.
And I'm going, right. Well, she's going to be an art professor. That's what she wants to do, pseudo art professor. She's studying, that's what her master's is going to be. But, I will encourage her to do anything, and I would never disencourage her to do anything. But I have to say, Brendan, it's such an amazing experience. I will give her all the encouragement and support. It is nerve-wracking if you're not used to it. But you know what? Mm-hmm. You're doing something with all the girls. You're all in it together, and it's just an experience that you will, bar none. Meeting all the different people, and if you're lucky enough to get into the the other side of this world and all that, it really does. It does amazing things for your confidence. And you need to have confidence in life, no matter what you do. So the tough times that you go through that are nerve-wracking or whatever, it really helps you and builds your character. So I said to her, I'm fully there to support you whichever way you need. You want to do this, I'm there. And I will. You
You have
know?
to watch the space. Maybe she might turn around and enter into next year. She has to come back to
Yeah,
art.
I have to say it to her. You're gonna have to say it to her. Because if I say to her when you enter, I'm like, she's like, well, you're just mum, you know. So it's a bit different from me saying it to someone like you, you know.
But I'm sure when she's watching this now, she's like, oh, I didn't know some of that stuff, Mom. You didn't tell me this, tell me that. I mean, it's like a little snap of history there. So come here, Siobhan. This was fantastic having the history chats with you. Now, as you know, we do the little game with everybody, which is the Quickfire Round. So what's going to happen is I'm going to throw a one word at you, and you're going to come back with your answer, okay? Whatever comes to mind, all right? And it's all done in 30 seconds. Okay. Siobhan Mc Clafferty, this is your Quickfire Round. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your 30 seconds starts now. Celebrity crush.
Matthew McConaughey.
Singer.
Oh my God. Alicia Keys. I love her. I'm not a girl crush.
Destination.
Destination?
Yeah.
Capri. Sorrento.
Ooh. TV show.
Oh my God. Crimes. ID. Anything to do with crimes or anything like that. Love it.
Color.
Turquoise.
Song.
The Greatest Love of All, Whitney Houston.
Very good. I gave you 2 seconds there because I was speaking cards. Well, Siobhan, it was absolutely fantastic having beautiful chats with you. Enjoy the rest of your day in sunny Florida. Thanks and goodbye.
Oh, miss you guys. Bye.
There you go.
Done.